guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm Shah and this is Thoroughly Enjoyed Books. Today I'm bringing you an exciting video that combines two of my favourite things, books and tattoos. I did a tattoo tour video back in, I believe it was May, so I'll leave a link to that down below and up in a card up here, so go click on that if you're interested in tattoos. I got a lot of good feedback on that video. It is my most viewed video on my channel, and I've wanted to do more videos that combine books and tattoos on my channel because they're something I really love. I think they're so beautiful. I think they're a piece of art. I don't care if you don't like tattoos personally, you can click away from this video, but I love them. And because I've not been able to get tattooed for the last 6 months because of COVID, and I've not had a new tattoo since must have been January when I got my last one. This is the longest I've gone without getting a tattoo since I started getting tattoos. I wanted to talk to you a bit about them, and I thought, why not talk to you about some of the tattoo ideas I have for some of my favourite books. This is going to be showcasing my favourite books and some of my favourite tattoo artists. I've got a bit of a mix going on here. Some of the ideas I have multiple artists in mind for, so I'm going to be shouting them out, showing you some of their artwork and talking you through my ideas. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first tattoo idea I have is for my favourite book of all time, Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. And this might be a bit of an obvious choice to go with, but I would obviously get an orange tattoo. Now, one of my favourite artists for botanical tattoos is Jessica Penfold. Jessica is based at Legacy Tattoo in Haverhill. I love this tattoo artist. She hasn't been tattooing for very long, I don't think. I started following her when she was an apprentice, and I think even as an apprentice she was phenomenal. Her style has changed a little bit since I started following her, but it's still got that really nice neutral style that I like. You know from a lot of my tattoos that they are full colour, and I would get some oranges by her. She has done several fruit and botanical type tattoos in the past, including oranges, and I just think she does them so beautifully. They look really pretty, and I would love to have this on my body. It would obviously not be the only fruit on my body. My next tattoo is also going to be fruit, but I'll talk about that in a future video because it's not for here. But I just thought that this would be a really nice idea. It's, like I said, quite obvious because Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit is the title, but it is 100% an idea that I've had, and out of all of these ideas I have written down, I think this is the one I'm most likely to get at some point. I just think it really suits Jessica's style. It's really personal to me. Like I said, it's one of my favourite books. It's a book about being queer. It just has so much in it that I love, and the fact that this is kind of a neo-traditional style, perfect. The next idea I have is for another one of my favourite books. I don't need to say that for everything, do I? Because I've told you this is about my favourite books. But the next idea I have is one that I have been sitting on for quite a while, and I never really figured out the right artist to go to for this. So I currently have two artists in mind, and I'm going to shout both of them out. One I have been tattooed by before, another one I've never been tattooed by before. This would be my Great Gatsby tattoo, because The Great Gatsby, one of my faves. Love that book and means a lot to me. However, this idea also crosses over with a Taylor Swift themed tattoo, and the idea I have is two glasses of wine, or a glass of wine and martini, crossing over with the line, "Here's a toast to my real friends." I think both of these tattoo artists would do a fantastic job. They both do full colour, bright colours. I think if I wanted a bit more of a mature style, Hannah from Hannah Elizabeth Tattoo, who works from the Black Heart Tattoo Collective in Rugeley, would do an excellent job of this. And she also tattooed my best friend. Me and my best friend really want to get a Taylor Swift matching tattoo that isn't too obvious that it's meant to be matching, not too obvious that it is Taylor Swift. And this has been my favourite idea for a long time. She's not too keen on it, but I wanted a rosé glass and a white wine glass crossing over because I'm the white wine girl of the friendship, she's the rosé girl of the friendship. Here's a toast to my real friends. Very obvious, you know, she is my best friend. Through thick and thin, she has been by my side. And she has also been tattooed by Hannah, so it makes sense to go to this tattoo artist. However, part of me wants to go a little bit more OTT with this one and have it like decorated with like sequin styles and pearls and just be really out there. It's not Grace's style, it's more my style, which is why I also think that Keely Glitters would be a fantastic tattoo artist for this. She works at different places. I did try and find out where she's currently working, but all I could find was that she's currently between London and Leamington Spa. Obviously COVID has meant that a lot of people aren't working from the shops that they used to or have moved location, etc. So I'm not 100% sure where she is at the minute, but I love her artwork. It's just very out there, very bright. She likes to have like sparkles in her work, which I just think would be perfect for this tattoo. She's also tattooed another one of my friends, Lisa, and you know, she's apparently really lovely. I just think she's great, and I think it would be nice to go to different artists for this tattoo as well. I want to have something else in it, maybe fireworks, and that's what I think Keely would be really good at, is putting those fireworks behind the wine glasses. Whereas if I was going to just go for the simpler wine glasses, I think I would go to Hannah. Does that make sense? But both of these artists I adore. Obviously wouldn't be a favourite book video with Shah if I didn't mention Normal People. Now I really want a Normal People tattoo, but I'm struggling. Guys, I am really struggling for ideas, so I want you to give me recommendations or ideas for Normal People tattoos because I am stumped. I have got 2 ideas here. Neither of them are ones that I think I will get. They're just the ideas, but maybe I can develop them into ones I would get. And I actually have 3 tattoo artists to talk to you about today regarding my Normal People tattoo, because I've got 2 ideas. The first is an idea that I've had for quite a long time, and originally was going to be a Stranger Things tattoo, but I have had a different Stranger Things tattoo since, so I'm like bringing it back for Normal People. And it is basically silhouettes of Connell and Marianne on either elbow, like on the back bits of my elbow, because my rationale behind this is elbows are a pair, Marianne and Connell are a pair, but even though they are a pair, they never really get it together, kind of like your elbows, like they're always separated. I think that's clever, but the 2 artists I have in mind for that are both minimalist tattoo artists. So one of them is the same as my Princess Leia tattoo, and that is Dan from Rextagram, who works at Bodycraft in Nottingham, or he did when I went to him. He, like I said, did my Princess Leia tattoo, so I really like his style. He's very minimalist, outlines kind of thing, but they're not too thin, and I think some minimalist tattoo artists can go too thin with their tattoos, so I kind of like him. He's nice and bold. The other person I do have in mind is Emily Malice, who works at Parliament Tattoo in London. She's got a very similar style, but I think hers is a little more feminine, and that's why I've got these 2 artists in mind. Like maybe I could go to one for Connell and one for Marianne, because one has got a more bold masculine style, the other's a little bit more dainty and feminine. But those are just some ideas that I have for those 2. But like I said, minimalist outlines, and the Stranger Things idea was to have Mike and Eleven on each elbow, because they are people who belong together but are always kept apart. So I've moved past that one now, but I'm still thinking of it for Normal People. And then the other idea is just a quote, and for this it would be Shay Grimm at Bunraku Tattoo in Leicester. Now he's done all of my little tattoos. He's done my Fearless on my arm, he's done We Got This on my ribs, and he did my little coat hanger. So I do go to him for my little small ideas, just because he's easy to get to, but he's also really friendly. He's a really good artist, and even though I'm not utilising his artwork, I still like to go to him for the tattoos. And I would just get the quote, "I don't find it obvious," because it's one of my favourite quotes in the whole series, and it's ridiculous, but it's just about how Connell assumes that his feelings for Marianne are obvious the whole time, and she just doesn't find it obvious. And I just think that would be, you know, a nice little throwaway quote. Maybe I'll get it attached to a different tattoo at some point later on, I don't know. Those are just the ideas I have for my Normal People tattoos. And the last book and tattoo idea I'm going to come to is one that I wouldn't necessarily say it's one of my favourite books, but I think this tattoo concept relates to the book, and I've had this one in mind for about 3 years as well. And this is for the book Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, and that will be an armoured polar bear tattoo. Now the reason that I've got this is a lot of my tattoos are animals, and my quite bigger colourful ones are animals. I would go to Ashley Newman for this tattoo, or Ashley Luca as she is on Instagram, who has done the majority of my big colour pieces. She is my all-time favourite tattoo artist, and she works at the Brot Haas tattoo shop in Birmingham. Editing Shah here, just popping in to say that no, Ashley does not work at the Brat Arse tattoo shop. She works at the Brass Heart tattoo shop in Birmingham. I love her to bits. She's my elephant, my giraffe, my witch, my Patronus. I feel like she did another one, but maybe not. She's done 4 of my tattoos, so she is the one that I go to if I really want a new piece. I just love her artwork. I think it's stunning, and there's some of it up here. I would get an armoured polar bear, but I would let her style it however she wants because I trust her so much. I just go to her with an idea, tell her what I want, and she draws it and I get it. It's that simple. And this represents my struggles with my bipolar disorder. Polar bears are quite symbolic in the mental health community for people with bipolar disorder because they're polar. They're, you know, it's just kind of a little joke. And the reason I would have an armoured bear is because obviously the books, but also just because it's kind of a defence. You know, we make jokes of our struggles to lighten our struggles and to get through it. So it's kind of like this protective ideology kind of thing. And I don't know, I just feel like if I was to get anything that specifically referenced my bipolar, it would be an armoured bear, and it would be by Ashley Luca, because why would it not be? It would be extravagant, it would be bright and colourful, like blues and whites and greens, purples, pinks probably, and I just think that she would be able to pull that off so well. Like I said, my favourite tattoo artist of all time. Will go to her for the rest of my life. I will be 60 and I will still be getting tattoos from Ashley, I tell you. So those are all the books and tattoo ideas I want to share with you today. I will do more videos like this in the future, but you know what? It is surprisingly hard to come up with tattoo ideas specifically for books that aren't just quotes. I could give you a massive list of quotes to get tattooed on my body, but they're not my style. As you can tell from this video, I like the bright colours. I like, you know, pictures. I like to go out there with my tattoos. I will of course be leaving links to all of these tattoo artists down below if you wanted to go and check them out. Go to their Instagrams because they have so much beautiful artwork on there, and let me know if you want any tattoos by them because I love them. Do let me know if you have any tattoos related to books as well because I would love to see them, and I'll leave all my links down there as well. Go and check me out on Twitter and Goodreads and all that good stuff. I can't wait to see you in another video very soon. Take care. Bye.